You know, most people hate Mondays, but not me. To me, every Monday is a celebratory occasion because it's mock draft Monday and I got a new mock draft. I'm fresh. I'm fresh off of finalizing my mid-season rankings for the 2026 NFL draft. I'm going to start pumping those suckers out this week, but let's go ahead. We got a new draft order. Let's get a mock draft started here, starting with the New York Jets. They need a quarterback. They just benched Justin Fields. So we're going to go ahead and take a quarterback. Who's the top quarterback in this class? Well, my friend, that is a very, very fair question. Because there's good reason for some of these guys to return. For a lot of these guys to return, I'm going to lean with Dante Moore. Chances are he might return, but you can make that case for a lot of these guys. Quarterbacks have to come out this year at some point. There's going to be quarterbacks that are going to be draftable, and teams are going to take them relatively high unless we go back to what was the Kenny Pickett draft? Was it 2022? I think it was 2022. But I'm going to go with Dante Moore out of Oregon. Fins up, baby. Fins up. My Miami Dolphins. Dolphins fans. What did I do last week? I took a quarterback. I'm trying to switch things up this week to, I don't know, explore different possibilities. I think the Dolphins should probably take a swing at quarterback. Kind of depends on the class, but let's say in this instance, we don't want to rush into another quarterback just yet. Tua, he's going to be under contract for another year anyway, before he could really move off it. So let's just go ahead and amp up the offense a little bit. So I'm going to take my wide receiver one, Jordan Tyson. Man looked good against Texas Tech, and he was, I don't know if it was a hamstring injury or something, but he was hobbling through that game and still getting open. New Orleans Saints. I'm going to just, you know what? Spencer Rattler might be good. Might be good. So I think I'm just going to wane off of taking a quarterback or forcing a quarterback to the Saints. Not that I did it last week, but I think just for the future, I'm going to be like, Saints probably not in on quarterback. Good chance that they're not. So instead, I'm just going to take the top non-quarterback prospect on the board, and that is Ruben Bain, edge out of Miami. Ado, baby. Ado. Get some pass rush. This is an awkward situation, instance for the Tennessee Titans. I could just say, take Caleb Downs and call it a day. I think that's a very real possibility. But I want to do something here that helps Cam Ward, for goodness sake. That could be offensive line. That could be wide receiver. I did wide receiver last week with Mekhi Lemon. I think I'm just going to rinse and repeat. Mekhi Lemon kind of had a funky game against Notre Dame. There was that wide receiver sweep or double pass, and he was looking downfield and nothing was open. He gets hit. He fumbles the ball. Wasn't feel good, but he has been money for a majority of the year. You're going to bring him in, and I'm honestly, to me, he is a top 10 player in this class. You could even make a great case for Carnell Tate in the top 10. Maybe we'll get to that. Hang tight. Before we get to pick 5, I got to give a shout out to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. If you download the app, sign up using promo code BROSHMO. They match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues, whether it be, I don't know what meets your fancy. Do you like weekly best ball? Do you like higher, lower on player stats? That's where I lean. Then go ahead, check out Underdog Fantasy. Download that sucker. Sign up with promo code BROSHMO. I help you, you help me. It's a beautiful thing, but as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Pick 5, Baltimore Ravens. I think they turned the corner. I don't think they're going to be drafting in the top 5, but right now they're currently drafting in the top 5. They've been a very beat up team this year. I think we have the chance to do something fun here. And it really all depends on how creative can this team get defensively. Will Zach Orr be the DC next year? A lot of questions that I don't currently have answers to, but a player that has kind of came out of nowhere is Arvell Reese. He gives some upside as a pass rusher. He's just all over the field. I'm going to talk about him this week because I'm going to push out my linebacker rankings. He's been absolute money. They don't have really a guy next to Roquan Smith. And Reese, again, let's use him in a creative way. Okay, this is the first pick for the Cleveland Browns, and I haven't done it the last couple of weeks, but I think they probably, if there's a quarterback that meets their fancy, they should take a swing on him, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. Prototypical quarterback size, and you just love how he functions, how he operates that offense at Indiana. I think among the draft eligible prospects in this class, he gets the ball out the quickest. So give me a rhythm passer. Give me a quick, decisive playmaker. A guy that kind of has a little bit of that stone cold killer in him. I mean, you go look at the Iowa game, throws a pick, comes back for the game-winning touchdown drive. Oregon throws a pick six, comes back on I think it was like a 90-yard drive. So he's got a little bit of this stone cold killer in him. Now, if Mendoza was available here for the Raiders, I'd probably take him, but he is not. We have to go elsewhere. I think you can make a great case to take maybe a tackle here. I'm just going to be like, let's take the best player. Let's just take the best player on the board. That's Caleb Downs. Does it feel great to take a position of less value in the top 10 again? Probably not, but Downs is, I hate throwing the word generation out there. He is one of the best safety prospects we have seen in quite some time. You could go back to maybe like Kyle Hamilton, which I think a lot of people overthought and pushed him out of the top 10. I don't think we do that with Downs. I just don't. Pick 8, New York Giants. I like taking tackle for the Giants just because typically tackles are available and we kind of get our pick of a tackle. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do things different, but we're gonna stick with, hey, let's help out Jackson Dart, and we're gonna do that via a wide receiver. We're taking Carnell Tate, who has been phenomenal, just pumping out big performance after big performance after big performance. You guessed it, after big performance. Dude's been absolute money. He becomes the 2 to Malik Neighbors' 1. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. Pick 9, Arizona Cardinals. And we haven't seen a tackle come off the board. Jonah Williams just got utterly destroyed by Green Bay today. To be fair, Micah Parsons does that to a lot of people, but I think he is a average to below average starter on the offensive line. So let's go ahead, get some more protection. Let's take the first offensive tackle off the board. And for me, that is Francis Maui Noah out of the U. Miami, baby. Houston Texans. I probably would have sent it with Francis Maui Noah. You can make a case for Spencer Fano here. However, Peter Woods to me is a top 10 player. You look at the interior, the defensive interior for Houston, it's not great. It's just not. They're not very, it's a collective group of players that are fairly solid. It's a very low ceiling, moderate floor group of players there. Peter Woods would be able to, I think, push and make an already disruptive defensive line even more disruptive. You might be like, well, they need help on the offensive line. Hey, fun fact, they could do that in free agency. They could do that later on in the draft. Don't have to do it in the first round. You could do it a variety of different places. We're taking Peter Woods, best player on the board right now. Pick 11, Cincinnati Bengals. Watching that squad without Trey Hendrickson struggle to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. It was a hard watch. It was tough to see. Hendrickson, good chance he's not back after this season. He might be traded at the trade deadline. So let's go ahead and grab an edge player before they start to fly off the board. And I'm going to go with David Bailey, dude. I really dig David Bailey. He might not have ideal length, but he just knows how to get after the passer. Insane closing speed. twitched up, phenomenal. I think the pass rush win rate this year is like 26%. Just a great number. Washington Commanders, if you're a Commanders fan, strap in, buckle up. I'm experimenting with different possibilities here, and specifically different possibilities of where Jeremiah Love can go. And you're like, running back, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's awesome. He is. He was also a 7th round pick and really hasn't done much since that game against the Chargers. Maybe he's just a guy in the running back room. Maybe he is just kind of the second fiddle to the main fiddle. And Jeremiah Love is certainly the main fiddle. He is a top, I think, 15 player in this class for me. And I'm not the running back guy. I'm just not the guy that likes to take running backs early. But Washington has done, I think they've done some good things too over the past couple of years to make that offensive line good. And I think that's when you cash in on taking a running back early in the draft. And I think we're going to cash in right now and go with Jeremiah Love. All right. Experimenting with spots, guys. I'm sorry. Not everyone's going to like it. You could say not everyone's going to love it. All right. We got the Dallas Cowboys. Typically, Dallas Cowboys, we're doing defense. Defense is terrible. Good game today against Washington. Still, the defense ain't great. I think we start with probably the defensive line. Typically, we could get our choice of corner here. Jermon McCoy is coming off the ACL, so maybe he does take a stumble down the board. I think we're going to opt to go defensive line, and I'm going to go with a high floor pass rusher with TJ Parker. The dude moves well. You watch his tape and it's like, oh, okay, man, he checks a lot of boxes, is built how you want to see a defensive end built in the NFL. He's got I think a solid toolbox of pass rush moves. And while there might not necessarily be any one given trait he could hang his hat on, say, I'm the best in this class set, I think he just does a lot of things exceptionally well. The pass rush win rate for him this year, again, started out the year pretty slow, but it is slowly, gradually just been going up. So we're going to take Parker. Rather than taking a shot on some of these other guys, I love Cassius Howe. Might have sub 31-inch arms. That's kind of a dice roll. Maybe if Dan Quinn was still here, I would take that role. Keldrick Folk might end up being an interior. So there's just not, I don't know if I want to take that risk on any of those other guys. Minnesota Vikings. Ooh, got torched by Jalen Hurts had his first 300-yard passing game in the last 22 games. Well, we better address that, and we're going to do it. We're going to take Jermon McCoy. I know I talked about him potentially slipping, but again, his tape was better than anyone else in this class last year. Hopefully he comes back and he looks very much the same. Kansas City Chiefs, they're here at pick 15, and I'm going to go with a thick boy on the defensive line. Keldrick Folk, I think, makes a lot of sense. Kenyon Sadiq is tempted. I'll say that. Keldrick Folk, to me, makes a lot of sense. He's a Spagnuolo guy. He's just built different. Can play edge, can kick inside. He brings a very high floor as a run defender and just some really good tools. So we'll take him here. Carolina Panthers. I think we got to keep this edge train going. I really do. We could take the shot on Kenyon Sadiq, but this is a team that has really, over the last few years, they've really done their best to fix the offense. I think it's time now to look at the defense, be like, hey, our pass rush isn't where we want it to be right now. Let's get that sucker taken care of. I think you roll the dice. You take a shot on a guy that's been uber productive, twitched up, great closing speed, knows how to get after the passer. It's Cassius Howe. I typically don't like betting on the exception, but we're here in the middle of the first round. I think we can take that shot with how productive he has been. And a guy that can drop back into coverage too. So he gives you some versatility in that regard. So this is going to be the Rams' first pick, I believe. Yep, their first pick. This is via the Atlanta Falcons. I'm currently watching that Falcons-Niners game right now. And I think we just swing on quarterback here. Though Matthew Stafford is looking phenomenal, maybe you could just keep it. You could just keep kicking that can down the road. Be like, hey, let's just wait till Stafford is truly ran into the ground. But I really like how Ty Simpson would fit a Sean McVay offense. You don't have to rush him in because keep in mind, he's only got 1 year as a full-time starter. And you could just have him learn behind Stafford for a year or 2 years and then play him, you know, like they did back in the days of Aaron Rodgers and Carson Palmer. Like, oh, we'll draft a quarterback. And after being under the tutelage of a veteran quarterback for 2 years, we start him in year 3. So yeah, maybe we go back to the old days. Back in my time. Pick 18, it's the Chicago Bears. I think I did defense last week. That defense looked gnarly against the Saints today, which is great. But, I mean, shoot. I'm pretty sure Theo Benedette had an all right game. At the very least, he did last week. Okay, he was okay. So you're probably still looking for that left tackle. I'm going to swing on a left tackle here. Because we know Braxton Jones, he might be traded, might just not re-signed after the season. He's not long for the Bears roster is what I'm trying to say. I love Trevor Gooseby. You can say, oh, what about Spencer Fano? He's been a right tackle, and he might end up being a guard in the NFL. I'm not going to take that shot here. Trevor Gooseby has played on both sides. He's played both tackle spots. He is an elite athlete. He checks all the boxes when it comes to what you want in an offensive tackle in the NFL. I'm taking him. So we got the Cleveland Browns. We took our Fernando Mendoza. Could take a wide receiver here. I think seeing Trevor Gooseby come off the board, Spencer Fano still being here, I'm just going to take the shot on Spencer Fano. Fun fact, Cleveland's offensive line is going to be radically different after the offseason because they got a lot of guys hidden, free agency, and they got guys getting up there in years. So we're going to take Fano. I don't care if he's a tackle. I don't care if he's a guard. He's going to be somewhere on that offensive line for the Browns. Los Angeles Chargers. I like taking pass rush here. And I think that was very apparent in today's game against Daniel Jones and company. Now, I'm going to highlight a pass rusher that's moved up my board quite a bit. He has got great length. I think he's got like an 82-inch wingspan. Needs to continue to fill out his frame, but he's bendy and bursty as all get out. So I'm going to showcase, I'm going to highlight Joshua Josephs out of Tennessee. Playing some really good football this year. Buffalo Bills. It's easy to kind of fall into, well, linebacker. Linebacker makes a lot of sense. You could also make the case for offensive line, specifically the interior. I think I may have done that last week. Yeah, I took a guard last week for the Bills, so let's guard/center. But yeah, let's go back to taking a linebacker. We're going to take Sonny Styles. It's a really good linebacker class. So some of these guys might get pushed into the first round because it's simply, oh, let's get our guy now because when that run happens, we don't want to be late on it. 2 Ohio State linebackers going in the top 21. What a world we live in. San Francisco 49ers, they're currently playing. What's the score of that game? They're currently up 13-10. With like 7 minutes left in the game. 49ers, I like taking a tackle here typically. Caleb Lomu would probably be the guy. Caden Proctor actually makes a lot of sense. Matter of fact, Caden Proctor, whether he ends up being a guard or tackle, I think makes a lot of sense for the Niners. Whether it's heir apparent at left tackle or Trent Williams, he sticks around. then you could just immediately put Proctor into left guard. And then once Williams does call it quits, slide him out to tackle and see what you got. So I think I'm going to take Proctor here. Seattle Seahawks. Listen, corner has fallen down the board. We're simply just going to take a corner. I'm sorry. It's the best value on the board. Mansour Delane is an absolute monster out of LSU. Man is good. Having a really, really good year. Could push for corner one if we're being honest. Detroit Lions. I did Caleb Lomu last week. Taylor Decker. Up there in years. He's been out with the shoulder injury. To me, it makes a lot of sense. Do I want to take a linebacker here? Probably not. There's some other edge players we can maybe take here, but we've already seen so many come off the board. I think we just take Caleb Lomu. I think it's kind of the best pick on the board right here for the it's coming to me. It's coming to me. Detroit Lions. There we go. I got to check out this Austin Sierraveld. Sierraveld? I hear he might be a guard in the NFL, though. We'll see, I suppose. We'll see. But let's take Caleb Lomu. Pittsburgh Steelers. We could take Lenore Sellers. Corner. I think corner makes a lot of sense here for the Steelers. Slay's on a 1 year. Porter's kind of been whatever. I think, and obviously the defense you have invested in a lot financially. Didn't look all that great against Joe Flacco. And to be fair, a very good set of playmakers. Maybe some would say the best set of playmakers in the league when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Still, I think, yeah, we take a shot here. Could go edge. Could go corner. Tackle's honestly viable too. Like if Lomu was still here, I think I would consider that as well. But I'm going to take Keith Abney. He should be higher. He should be higher for goodness sake, but he's not. Denver Broncos. I do like taking me Kenyon Sadiq here. Reuniting him with Bo Nix. But again, I want to think outside the box. Do different things that we just haven't done in mock drafts. And Luke Wattenberg will be a free agent. I hope they bring him back. I'm a big fan of Wattenberg. Really am. But if they don't, maybe you take a swing on one of the center prospects in this class. I think Vega here for Penn State is a guard in the NFL. I'm a big fan of Poncho out of Oregon. He could play guard or center. A lot of people are pretty high on Connor Lew, who's probably a center only in the NFL. We're going to go with Lew here. I'd be game for Poncho. Back here with the Rams, we took Ty Simpson with their first pick and now with their second pick. Oh, I think corner. I think we just make the call on corner. You could tackles of a thought, but we just saw the top tackles come off the board. I think Avion Terrell in the right system is a first rounder. I think for a lot of teams, he's kind of a slot only, which is a-okay. But he's just not going to be, he's not going to be for everybody. But for a team like the Rams, he's right up their alley. They would play him on the outside. I'll go with Avion Terrell. Then we're going to have the Philadelphia Eagles coming up here. And I'm sorry, Kenyon Sadiq's got to go somewhere. And Eagles fans, I believe last week we got a corner for you, or we got an edge. Maybe it's been a couple of weeks since we've taken a tight end for the Eagles, but we're doing it. Dallas Goedert, though, man. He's looking young again. Golly, the 5-2 New England Patriots. Oh, man, please say Drake May doesn't go on a Tom Brady run. Because my heart can't handle it as a Dolphins fan. It just can't. I've been saying for a hot minute that, well, Vrabel last year, they went really in offensively in the draft to help Drake May. So maybe this is more of a defensive heavy draft. But let's say the board falls this way for Mike Vrabel, and he's like, you know what? Maybe we can continue to help Drake May. So I'm going to go ahead and take Vega Iwine out of Penn State to be the left guard there. We're going to kick Jared Wilson into center because I think that's more of a natural position for him. He's playing guard, honestly, kind of for the first time, or at least as a full-time player in New England, and he's having a go at it. Let's just call it that. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Again, we're thinking outside the box. Cowboys fans, we're thinking outside the box. All right. I took TJ Parker. Got you some edge help. I would love to go with defense here. You can make a case for maybe a linebacker. You can make a case for corner, safety, or George Pickens is a free agent. Well, they're going to bring back George Pickens. Maybe. I don't know. I just saw this team trade Micah Parsons. Anything's possible, I suppose. Let's say George Pickens does hit free agency. I want to, again, I just want to bring up Chris Bell's been fabulous, man. He's built at 6'1", 227. He could create after the catch because he's thick. He runs like a running back after the catch, but he's so fast. He's developed his route tree a bit more this season. He can be that vertical threat. He has just been on a tear. Ask me about it. I'm a Hurricanes fan. It hurt to watch last Friday. So we're going to take Chris Bell. Just saying, maybe Pickens doesn't come back to Dallas. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like taking edge for the Buccaneers. But we're doing something different, but not that different. Again, I'm thinking we might see 3 linebackers go in the first round. So maybe you look for the heir apparent to Levante David, or maybe he plays for another 100 years. You still need someone to play next to him, because I don't think they currently have that guy. Or at least I don't think they have a good option on the roster to be that guy. I'm going to go with CJ Allen over Anthony Hill, because I think Allen's really stepped up his game in coverage. And I think immediately he's kind of a no worry. If you're looking for the more versatile player that can rush off the edge, brings you length and strength, and maybe Hill's more your guy. But Allen just plays with great feist and urgency. He's all over the field, and he's showing off his coverage chops this year. I think he's got like 3 pass breakups. Can't really say that for most linebackers. All right, let's wrap this sucker up in a bow, because we have your future Super Bowl champs, the Indiana Jones-led Colts. Man, oh, Daniel Jones, man, maybe it was a change of scenery. If you're not new to the channel, I have been, when he was with the Giants, I was the biggest Daniel Jones denier. Just was. And I think that was accurate. But change of scenery, man. He's a new man. He's a new man. Maybe this is a guy just like what happened with Baker in Tampa. Got under the right head coach. And now he could spread his wings and be a top 12 to 16 quarterback in the NFL. It's just wild. So we're not going quarterback. Instead, we've seen a lot of edge come off the board. I don't think I want to go there. Colton Hood's coming off not a bad week, but did allow like a big reception against Alabama. But Alabama really took advantage of a kind of a mediocre Tennessee secondary. To be fair, that Tennessee secondary has undergone a lot of injuries, but Colton Hood's probably the only good player right now for Tennessee in that secondary. He's playing good football. I think he's got some versatility in terms of what he can play coverage wise. So this be just someone else that Coach Lew gets to add to his defense, which, golly, man, looked really good today against the Chargers. But that's it. We did it. That's another mock draft in the books. We got a couple of new names rearing their head here, but I think we're starting to get a good idea of who we consider first rounders again. Some guys are going to come back and throw a wrench into all these things, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. If you want to check out some of my other content, by the way, position rankings mid-season, position rankings for the draft, they're coming out. They're going to be a blast. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.